Hello and welcome back to SNHU Esports, live from the Connection Esports Arena. My name is Shirley. You can call me Shane. I'm joined here with Connor. Connor, we got a pretty exciting game coming up tonight.
Yeah, both of these teams are undefeated. We are up against UCOW, University of Cincinnati. Overwatch, that's where the cow comes from.
I was trying to figure that out too. But
Yeah.
It's pretty late in the season. We're running out of undefeated teams to go up against right now. So this is, it's getting to a point here where pretty soon SNHU, if not already, are going to be fighting for the spot of being the last undefeated team in the league, which is really important going into the playoffs just to get that. It's that seeding is super important.
Exactly. Yeah, both these teams. They're fighting for their record right now, right? Going in further into this bracket, it's going to be in your placement and seeding, right, for the future. But that's just the better odds, stacked up in your favor for the entire lineup of that bracket there. So I think it's very vital that these two teams, put their 100% effort in. And let's talk about the Overwatch meta. As of late.
So it's definitely been shifting a little bit away from what we've been seeing in these last few weeks, definitely moving a little bit towards Ball as being a very big character in some maps. And that's really important because it means things are becoming a lot more divey. And typically you see a lot of metas or you see a lot of maps where teams are running, Widowmaker or Hanzo pretty consistently, just because there's not a lot of reason to really play a character like Reinhardt, so you're not going to have a big shield in front of you. Main issue with that is now Ball is able to just dive in on the backline right there, and that Widowmaker is going to have a very tough time getting away from Ball, and the entire team diving in on there at once because, oftentimes when you're running Ball, you also run a lot of characters like Genji or Tracer. Genji less so now. He's definitely been through the ringer a little bit with the nerf hammer, but Tracer is still a fantastic option. It always has been, and something that we'll probably see tonight. We got to see it a lot last week as well.
Yeah, and I definitely could see Ball, Tracer, Sombra, some comp like that maybe, because for example, on Circuit, right? You normally have the Sigma, Hanzo, Widow double sniper composition, right? And I feel like, if you have Ball into that, it's still you're going to be fighting the double snipers. But once you get that successful dive, that's basically a one fight, unless you get some form of hard CC if you get rocked, or this team does play Doomfist, so you could see that too.
That's going to be the big shakeup, and that's something to talk about because Ball is good right now, and a lot of teams are running Ball at the moment. Doomfist is going to be an interesting kind of way to play into that the Cincinnati are looking for here, and that's going to be something that also really looking at maps like Circuit Royale, like we mentioned, normally you run that Sigma just so you have, you can control space with more range than Reinhardt, and you still have the shield, so you can avoid the double sniper from the other team. Both teams still run double snipers because it's just so wide and open, but Sigma really enables you to control that space and protect your team with that shield. University of Cincinnati doesn't really subscribe to that.
Yeah.
They play Doomfist a lot, and they're going to play, if we go to Circuit Royale tonight, which is going to be a very interesting Circuit Royale if we do, and we see that map a lot, because a lot of teams kind of favor it, because you can sort of just out-aim people there, but they're going to be playing Doomfist there, which will be very interesting. Let's go ahead and take a look at our map overview, see what is first up tonight.
We're going to see Ilios there, and that's also kind of funny because I feel like with the Doomfist pick, you kind of need a more self-sufficient backline there. And one of their favors they have is they favor Pharah Mercy, right? Which is another just kind of self-sustaining backline there. Both of them also excelling on this map, I feel like.
Pharah's a very classic character on Ilios. That's one that you see there quite a bit, and so seeing Pharah back here is going to be a lot of very sort of classic gameplay here. The Pharah Mercy is going to be able to kind of just constantly apply that pressure without really having to worry about what their tank is doing at the moment, which if they're going to be playing divey tanks like Ball, like Doomfist, that's a pretty good offensive line to run, because they don't have to worry about anything. They don't have to worry about the front line at all. Like if you're running like a Cassidy or something, sure, you're tankier, but you still need to kind of play around the rest of your team's front line. Pharah Mercy don't really have to worry about that. They're sort of just their own pocket elsewhere, and they can apply pressure sort of independently.
Right, exactly. And I feel like normally, if you're running Ball, you're probably running, I don't know, some hit scan and Tracer, maybe like Cassidy Tracer. But if you run Tracer Sombra, like that Pharah, if it ducks just a little too low there, you get Sombra hacked, and it's bad news for you, right? I feel like that definitely could be a successful adaptation that SNHU could make to their gameplay, because we have been seeing them play or in the past we have seen them play Tracer Sombra, right?
Yeah.
It's something that they've been known to run.
The big dynamic that they're going to be really going for here on this map is going to be kind of working around Widowmaker, because Widowmaker is very popular pick on Helios, and it's going to be good at shutting down the Pharah Mercy as long as they're able to kind of hit their shots, which Pharah is not super hard to snipe out of the air. Then you have to worry about the Doomfist or the Ball, who's constantly diving in on you as Widowmaker, and that's where the sort of counterplay comes around. So definitely a lot to worry about right there. Just in sort of this composition, definitely going to be sort of how these maps are won and lost, is specifically off of the interaction of those heroes. But we're going to take a quick break before we get into game. All these teams get ready to go in. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back. We are just moments away from getting in our very first map of the night, SNHU Sapphire versus University of Cincinnati Red. We're going up to Ilios first.
Yes, sir. I'm excited for the Ilios pick. I don't know if it was snooze pick or not. I assume not because I feel like you can work Fair Mercy better into Ilios.
Ilios is usually not Sapphire's first pick there, so I think this is definitely a little bit more towards Cincinnati in this pick. But really, Ilios, I'm excited to see because it is such a it's a very different map from a lot of other control maps. Lijiang. It's very much a fundamentals map, Lijiang. You got 3 different maps or 3 different team compositions all work very well. Ilios, there is just so much open space in the air, and pretty much every map except Ruins. So you're going to see similar team compositions on each map, and on Ruins itself, you're really looking for compositions that can fight down in the pit.
Yeah.
They can actually survive down there. So you see a lot of team compositions that really look to play closer on the pillars, things like that. Really a lot more brawl focused, whereas you look at the other maps and it's a lot more kind of pokey when you have characters like Flyers, where you have Echo or Pharaoh who are up in the sky pretty frequently, and characters like Widowmaker to deal with them.
Yeah, and we could definitely see the ball being played in that pit too, because you don't even need the tether at that point. You can just, jump off there, control, get the slam, right? The
Pile driver,
right? But we could also see some Reinhardt played there too as well. I feel like just a brawl comp. I think Brigitte and Lucio, some kind of brawl comp like that would be good.
And that is something that Console Noob is very familiar with playing. The Reinhardt is definitely one of the characters that he has been playing a lot, and will probably all likelihood see King's Row map number 2, just because that's something that SNHU also practice a lot. And it's something I think we've seen pretty much almost every single stream is that second map, King's Row. So even if Ilios doesn't go SNHU's way, they've still got that second map coming up that they've really kind of favored or really put a lot of time and practice into. But the Ilios here is definitely a little bit of an oddball. And I think SNHU, if they're not quite prepared for this map, are going to definitely have to take a second to adapt. And that's going to be a big advantage towards Cincinnati, who seem to be playing a very sort of fast, aggressive sort of play style. I think if SNHU aren't super careful in this first round on Ilios, they could get overwhelmed. And that's really something that their IGL is going to need to really sort of call out and sort of keep them on their feet, adapting as needed.
Right, yeah. It's just... that's one of the biggest things I feel like on Ilios is you gotta get your head straight, right?
Yeah.
You gotta stay in that mental game there. And I'm kind of distracted right now by our team just kind of getting that warm-up going.
Can we cut to the arena camera real quick?
Yeah,
We're seeing some jumping jacks coming out, just making sure that they're keeping in shape. They're making sure they're warmed up at the moment.
Yes,
look, they've got so much energy right now, and some of them aren't jumping, which is a little disappointing to see. I'm looking at Pepto, looking at Console, but Console is back on the move. Pepto, first
Pepto's
one to sit down though, and that's pretty rough. We're seeing Siren. He's shaking his head. He's pretty upset right now with Pepto, and this friction might build up a little bit going into this first game right now. I'm seeing Biso starting to do some 360s right now.
Yeah, it's a good start to the match, I feel like. But, you kind of want that team participation just all around there. Makes one formidable whole there. But I like the energy that we have in the arena here tonight. We see one trick just... I don't know. Is he?
He's still going at it.
He
seems to be the most motivated out of everyone on the team right now. I'm a little disappointed to see Pepto sit down first. I got to be honest. I'm gonna have to give him a stern talking to after the stream. We'll see. We'll see exactly. It looks like a little bit of the festivities have calmed down a little bit, but this is truly the lobby waiting room at the moment. This is what is happening. Players are jumping up and down in their seats, waiting for the game to start.
Yeah. This is
they haven't all sat down yet.
They haven't.
That's the thing.
There's some of them still standing. Most of them.
We'll see. Definitely waiting to see how things start up. But going into this set, once again, both these teams are undefeated at the moment, and there is not a lot of time left in the season. So we're coming down to the wire in terms of how long these teams can maintain their undefeated streak. And we talked a little about this before. It's going to be super important because obviously whichever team remains undefeated the entire time is going to be top seed. And for SNHU, they're really looking forward to that. They really want to get this top seed. It's something that they've been really working hard towards all season. Yeah. They've been playing out of their mind with this new team composition they've been having, this new roster they've been having. And so I think they're really excited to continue to just push forward through the season on this streak. But Cincinnati obviously are going to be a major roadblock right here.
Yeah.
It's something to really, really worry about. But seems like we are ready to finally get into game. I present to you the very first map, Helios, of our best of 5 set.
Here we are. We're finally here, and I mean, we could see the Fair Mercy on this first starting map here. But definitely, I feel like, a must-have there on this map is Lucio. We're going to see a really fast rollout, and we're already seeing one of the Symmetras here is just going to be essential to trying to get to that high ground, or even... You don't want to take the point immediately, right? Because the point is not where you're going to be winning that fight. You're going to be winning the fight on top of the high ground there at either side. If you take there, it's even better, right? But that's how we're going to see this first fight probably break out. I don't know if they're going to switch off the Symmetra or not, because she has her utility in that on point as well.
We'll see. We've definitely seen quite a few teams actually start to stick to the Symmetra, but they're actually going to switch over to the Genji here, and Cincinnati's team composition is very, very fascinating at the moment. Seeing the Doomfist already starting to go in, applying some pressure on the Constant on the Reinhardt here, trying to just maintain that front line, but going to be a quick shot from Chu to take down Osiren, who remained on that Symmetra, trying to establish that presence on the point. Unfortunately, will get cut down. Pepto trying to stay alive, popped his ice block, still pretty healthy though. Constant right in the middle of things. Chu is going to be able to pick up that kill onto SNHU's May. It's going to be Constant who is next up. Cincinnati Red. By looking at their team composition, you might think this is season 1 of Overwatch 2, but don't be fooled. They are still playing like this now, and that is really impressive.
Yeah, they just stuck true to that composition there. But SNHU, they're going to switch things up here. They're going to keep most of their ult charge there at the 25%. Not going to lose a lot getting these switches out. And we're actually going to see them switch on to more of a dive comp along with Pepto in this guy here, trying to really harass that Hanzo, who won't really be able to deal with him there. But Constant taking that trade with the Doomfist is going to be able to get that poke damage out a little bit. And Osiren is here on the supports in the back line there. And, Chu just pumping out the damage here. He's going to be able to get 2 picks there. Fighting around his shield. He will go down there. And Chu somehow lived that. Biso chilling.
Forced to jump off the side. Had to get staggered super hard right there. Cincinnati Red are at 50% right now, and SNHU don't seem to really have quite the strategy to really deal with this yet. Cincinnati Red's team composition is definitely a lot different than what a lot of the other teams in this league have been playing right now. Constantly trying to jump back in on, and Dog will force that ultimate out from Cincinnati's Doomfist, just trying to get him to escape. Chu, you got to be super careful here if you're Osiren, because Chu has been on point on these arrowhead.
Yeah, that flick
out of nowhere.
That flick was very scary there. I thought that was going to be just a rogue headshot, just randomly with that flick there. But we're going to see Pepto force some of the players back from Cow back on site here, just drawing that attention there. Osiren doing the best job there. Actually gonna almost get that stick there, but Chu will be able to take one of the supports out there, and the Kiriko rush comes out actually from Nacho here. Nacho providing a lot of utility, but Chu will be the first to fall there. And now Constant gonna try to wreak havoc, and the rest of the team of Cow here just on point. The beat comes out, most of his damage is negated there, and he's gonna have to play around his shield here. The Kitsune rush there, Biso managed to regroup there and get that rush out, but Eric is gonna be getting that blade very soon, just dealing so much damage. The Dragon as well, just shredding through SNHU there. The overtime ticking down, they get that touch, but will it be enough for the next person to come by and get that touch there? They do get another touch. They get another touch there, but I think that's going to be it there. Kyle going to take that first round.
A crazy performance from them on round number 1. SNHU, like I said, very, very weird team composition that they're playing into. It's going to take them some time to adapt to this. It's definitely sort of a... I'd like to say it's a marathon, not a race, but Cincinnati are going to blitz through these rounds if this problem isn't solved quickly. We'll see if they run exactly the same team composition right here. It looks like it's mostly the same. They haven't had quite enough time to switch yet as we go into a pause, likely a player DC or a timeout, either of which I think is perfectly, a timeout makes a lot of sense right here. So there's definitely a second just to kind of get their bearings, sort of just think back about what happened in that last round, because that was a pretty tough round coming from Cincinnati right there, playing a team that is a lot of teams would consider that 2 seasons out of date. Cincinnati's still fighting to show it's relevant. It's still here. It still works. That's the power of going with something that people are more comfortable with. Going with those comfort picks is crazy because you're just so familiar with those characters that you kind of know how to play them in all sorts of matchups like that. We almost never see Genji anymore at all, ever.
Yeah.
And we saw Genji pop up, and Eric was able to get some pretty good value on the Dragon Blade with the contest. Let's go ahead and hop back in game as we get into round number 2.
I feel like SNHU...
Maybe not.
There's going to be another pause there, but I think SNHU, what they didn't really have that last map there was they didn't really have like something like Hanzo, right? They didn't have that consistent or big DPS, as I call it, right? Like I think of it in league terms, the Hanzo is the ADC, right? The other one's the assassin.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like they had the Echo for a second there, but I don't really know. I mean, that was a smart choice on countering the Hanzo, I feel like. But it's just like a balance, I feel like, of your backline and the front line, which is always going to be diving, harassing that backline there.
I think a big issue right there really was the front line for SNHU, because the moment that they lost that first team fight, they really struggled to just get a unified front going forward again. I mean, they switched off of the Reinhardt over to the Winston, so that's going to happen a little bit because Winston going to play a little bit more independently. Going to definitely separate from a lot of his team more often, but still you want to see that unified front line right there. The Echo, I think it's a great switch just to deal, like you said, with the Hanzo. He's going to have a tough time shooting upwards, and no one else on the team can really deal with that because your only other DPS is Genji. Still didn't find too much value, and that's unfortunate because a lot of time they were just stuck inside, and also it felt like SNHU weren't playing quite enough together to really benefit off of Echo's beam that does more damage when they're under half health. We saw a lot of times Pepto trying to pop the beam on someone, but that damage, waiting for the follow-up to come through from his teammates that actually knocked them under 50%, just didn't come through sometimes. So maybe just a little bit disoriented going into this team competition, not quite sure how to play around exactly how Cincinnati were playing because they didn't really have a front line.
Yeah.
And I think that was something SNHU were not ready for.
I feel like they would definitely be a little bit better on this map with that Echo pick if they want to continue to run it, right?
Yeah.
And if Cincinnati does pick that Hanzo, I feel like it will be an excellent pick into the Hanzo going into the next round here, right? Because it's a lot more airspace and not a lot of places or as many places to hide in. And you're not really given that high ground either to start with on that first point. Because that first fight, right, like I was saying, how if you get to that high ground, that's what you're really going to be fighting over. You know, Cincinnati just immediately took that high ground. And since we were running Reinhardt, we kind of just, we're playing back on our back foot after that because we took the point first.
Yeah. And something to note as well is on this map there, this is the point that's got the big hole right in the middle. So let's go ahead and hop back in game while we talk about this. But that Doomfist, if they continue to stay on it, I'm absolutely expecting to see multiple of those punches sending people into the hole. And for SNHU, they really only have 2 people. Maybe Biso, if he has Swift Step off cooldown, will be able to get out of there, but could be a little bit rough. Pepto on the Symmetra, we'll see. Probably not going to stay on this. Yeah, I already see him going back towards the spawn as he switches over towards Tracer. Cincinnati also swapping off of the Symmetra. Both sides seeming like they're pretty done with trying to stick around with that. Konstanuk now trying to skirmish around the front line here while Pepto tries to find a flank off to the side. Biso just trying to keep them alive and on right in the thick of things. At the moment, it's going to be Osiren who puts him down. The entire team collapsing on him. Konstanuk taking some serious space up ahead. Control point about to unlock. SNHU could potentially get first dibs here.
Yes, they just really capitalized on that tank pick there, and now they're going to try to get the rest of the team here. 2 will fall there, and Nacho is in Konstanuk's sights here. Going to try to take him down, and their tank N-Dog is back by now. It's still contested. They have not caught that first point there. Ooh, that boom just barely almost sent them in there, and it looks like Cincinnati will get that first capture there. But I really like the way that SNHU capitalized on that first mistake that N-Dog made, just whiffing that first punch, just everyone turning on him. Was a really nice collapse there from SNHU.
The big issue with that, though, is after they found the tank pick, they weren't quite able to finish off the rest of Cincinnati fast enough, and that ended up in them kind of being overextended by the time that N-Dog actually got back, and then he was really able to just collapse on SNHU's backline there, which left Konstanuk pretty much defenseless. He's the last one alive Cincinnati will get first grabs here on the point. SNHU, that's pretty devastating after winning that first team fight, but they really need to try and fight to take this one back. Siren will be able to take down Eric, and that's a pretty big pick there onto that flanker. Not trying to get around to the rest of the team. Now has Andog directly on top of him. You cannot just sit there and stare at him. You've got to fall back. He's controlling space at the moment as he pushes Pepto into a corner. He has 6 health left. He's going to get finished off with those shotguns. SNHU trying to control space. The Kitsune rush is in. Andog almost falling in the hole. Will be able to fend himself right back down. Also starting to go in. He does find the kill, but Andog picks up Osiren with his ultimate. Team's still pretty even as Andog finds the second kill. That's a big beat right there from Cincinnati. Going to keep Chu and Eric alive on very, very little health. And SNHU forced to fall back and regroup once again. Cincinnati at 65%.
Yeah, that was just such a clutch play there from Cincinnati. They used a lot of resources, but so did SNHU. SNHU is coming up with that beat, though, along with the Deadeye just coming in, or Hainu coming in soon. Constant Noob, Pepto both having their ults here. Biso on low health here, but a double stick there is going to get 2 picks there from SNHU. Constant Noob picking up one of his own. Siren taking out Shu. This could be the first fall there from Cincinnati.
And SNHU are going to be able to hold on to the point as they get a team kill, wiping out Cincinnati. However, they're at 85% right now. SNHU need to fight tooth and nail to hold onto this point, because if Cincinnati take it, that could be it. And not going to be a lot of time to actually get back and contest. We see some swaps coming out from Cincinnati as Chu hops on over to Torbjorn.
Yeah, and SNHU didn't really over-dedicate that last round there. Siren gonna get a good pick there on Eric, continuing to try to get these headshots, pump out the numbers, and Pepto just harassing the backline here as well. But they have their ultimates, they didn't overcommit there, and there goes Constantine back on the Torbjorn in the backline. The Deadeye comes out, gets Nacho there. That's a good pick from them to pick up their Siren, taking out that turret there, and 3 more picks there for SNHU. Is going to be a 1 fight there, just trying to clean up the backline, find that pick on the Lucio, and One Trick will secure it there. SNHU starting to build up their difference here.
Yeah, what a great fight from them right there. Really seeming to hit their stride at the moment as they cross the halfway mark on their way up. Looking at ultimates, they've got beat up. They're going to have Rush and Pulse Bomb for this next fight. Cincinnati are also coming up on having 5 strong results. So even Kitsune Rush come out from Cincinnati. Biso doesn't quite have it yet. The stick comes out, but Suzu going to be able to keep the team alive for Cincinnati as Kaltu tries to zap the front line. Kitsune Rush goes down, but on 8 health, he can't survive too much longer. Chu is going to be the one to take him down. One Trick falls. Biso off the Kitsune Rush, but he is going to get wiped out as Osiren goes in, takes down Reginald, trying to stay alive for as long as he can. But Cincinnati are going to reclaim the point. 90% right now. SNHU might not have quite enough time to actually get back. Pepto trying to just barely make it there, but he can't. Forced to recall. It's going to be Kalsu best to go into the touch, but he falls into the pit. Andog sending him in. Timer ticking down. SNHU need to find this touch. The welcome mat is out from Cincinnati. Andog still holding on to the ultimate. Means he's going to be pretty difficult to kill. Going to be tough to deal with that front line. Eric going in with the blade. Going to take down Biso and Osiren. Sheathing that right back up as the timer ticks down. Cincinnati, an incredibly strong Helios.
Yeah, that was just such a good usage of their material and just all their ultimates there. Like that last fight there, they had that Suzu ready and they had to spend it for the pulse bomb, right? But they knew that just knowing that they had beat as well, right? Because that beat came out later into that fight, and that is like one of the sole reasons that they were able to win that fight there.
He is nasty.
Yeah, Chu just getting these headshots here.
That little string of kills right there. That first round for Chu looked insane with the amount of headshots that he found, just finding flicks out of nowhere, right? And that's something you're gonna have to worry about going up against Cincinnati at the moment, because it seems like a lot of these fights seem to be very mechanics heavy for Cincinnati. They are not relying on very coordinated sort of team pushes. We saw a little bit on the second map there, but they're just dueling and they're winning.
Yeah, and Chu just hitting those headshots there is. It's exactly what you need to do to succeed on Hanzo, right?
Yeah.
And that is just one of the defining traits there Hanzo players in general, right?
Yeah.
Like normally I think about Hanzo, I think he's just, spamming arrows, trying to get that random headshot there, but that looked calculated.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. If you can hit, if you really get familiar with Hanzo's shots, you can kill people so quickly, and it just looks effortless from your point of view. You're like, oh, he hit he's that. Dead. But it is so hard to be consistent with that, and so really, props to Chu for really popping off in that first game right there. But SNHU, they're going to need to find a chance to actually clap back in this second game. They're going to get the pick here. Cincinnati will get a chance to ban a map out before SNHU picks. So definitely they're not going to get their best pick, and we're going to hear University of Cincinnati actually banning out Kings Row, and that makes a lot of sense. That is a big map for SNHU, and one that they've been playing a lot this season. So having Kings Row sort of swept out from underneath them, we'll see what they pivot to instead on hybrid.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of sad seeing that Kings Row go. We normally see him every single Overwatch match, right? But I mean, I can't get enough of it, and I don't think our players can either. But can we take a look at the maps real quick? Just like a little recap here. So the control we lost there 2-0, going up on Midtown next.
All right, I like Midtown. This is a map have we seen this map this season on hybrid? I don't think we have.
I don't think we have.
We saw a ton of Midtown last semester, but we have not seen Midtown this season at all yet. So definitely going to be checking into this with a very different meta than we saw it last time. Going to be a chance for, I mean, obviously the players, they scrimmed it, they played it a bunch, they've practiced it, so they're going to be a lot more familiar with it than we are. But Midtown here is going to be a very interesting pick to see how Sapphire adapt to this. This is their pick, so hopefully they've got some big strategy cooked up here because Cincinnati looked really strong. I want to see Sapphire on their map, though.
Is this the map that we were really practicing in the beginning of the season? Like when Overwatch 2 just first came out, maybe last season actually.
I think Midtown was definitely a map that we were putting a lot of time on.
Yeah,
there.
We had like that little secret tactic and everything and stuff.
That was Esperanza. We've seen them play Esperanza a ton.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
They've invested a ton of time into that map, and I mean that's no secret. We've seen it almost every single stream. Whenever we go to map number 4, we see Esperanza come out. I'd not be surprised if it ends up getting taken out of the pool. Should Cincinnati have their say, we'll see if they do or not. A lot of teams generally favor Esperanza just because Coliseo and New Queen Street are kind of unpopular maps.
Yeah, I mean, I'd expect that from those two maps. Anyways. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of them either. But I'm wondering what SNHU has up their sleeve here for this next map because they definitely, I mean, they need some kind of point to their dagger.
Yes,
right.
They really need to try and find some sort of strategy that's going to force Cincinnati to adapt. Because if Cincinnati continue to just play this composition, then we're going to see some problems here. Let's go ahead and hop in game and see if we can take a look at these team compositions coming up here. Not quite yet, 20 seconds until those pop up here, but I'm curious to see if Cincinnati just play the exact same composition.
Yeah,
that's a pretty generous team composition. We saw that composition in Season 1 on almost every single map. So they could just play that composition the whole time, just try and ride it out, see exactly how that goes. Sapphire are going to be the ones who you're going to see adapt a lot in terms of what their compositions are. Cincinnati, let's see, pretty similar, but we're going to see the Echo Mercy, and that is something that you do see on this map because there's so much open airspace on this first point.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't think we play into flyers ever on this map, but it is an interesting approach there, and we're actually going to see the Ramasha picked up here by Console Noob and Osiren on the Hanzo, trying to give them a taste of their own medicine there. But I think it's an interesting composition, to say the least.
The Ramasha Doomfist 1v1 is very strange because Ramasha really wants to control space from a distance and try and slow you down a ton. Doomfist has no trouble at all actually getting to him, which means that we're going to see Nemesis mode get popped out at the moment that Doomfist actually goes in. Otherwise, he's just going to have to kind of eat hits over and over.
Right, and it's hard to tell when Doomfist is actually bluffing or not, right? And he's just going to come right back out there. So it's going to be a battle of wits there between these two tanks, I feel like.
We'll see Andog already starting to go in on the backline, harassing him, taking control around this fire truck as he goes around the backside here. Consonant making a lot of poke damage here as that Echo actually switched over to a Pharah. Chu now up in the sky. Consonant Nemesis mode on cooldown now. He's going to have a little bit of a tough time trying to hold out against Andog for a few seconds. He falls back to the point, trying to control some space. Beasto's actually going to get taken out by Chu right there. Power Guard coming up from Andog. Constantly shooting right into it. That's going to be a power punch coming through as Andog wipes out 2, taking out a Siren Penta. Constantly is going to find 2 of his own before he gets shut down by Chu. SNHU don't have anyone still alive, though, and Cincinnati Red are pretty much uncontested to find this first point.
Yeah, they're going to get that point pretty early here, having around 5 minutes, probably like 4:59, I think, right?
5:26.
5:26. So that's a lot of time there for Cincinnati, and we're not going to really see any switches coming out from SNHU, but that Discord Orb is going to do wonders for that flyer. They're just making it a lot easier to just one-tap them and get a lot of damage out there. Duel coming out between the Tracers here is going to be just kind of undecided. They're just taking a lot of poke there. But Osiris actually he's on the Cassidy now. Pepto taking this fight here, gets some backup there. Maybe pushing this Tracer a little too far back in the backline there, but Chu's going to get a triple there with the barrage there. Just so much damage coming from Chu. Biso, Pepto actually finding picks of their own there. Are going to pick up some damage there. He has recall and he has pulse bomb. I think it just went a little wide there. Still taking this trade against FaZe here. And the Matrix. Where'd the Matrix come from? Console Noob. He's on the Diva now.
Showing up just in time to save Pepto's life right there. Unfortunate to see that Pharah actually pull off that big barrage. Sapphire switched over to the Cassidy to really try and control some airspace, but there's just so much natural cover right around that overpass that's very difficult here. And see Cincinnati already swapping out for Pharah. Constantly been a little bit of dire straits. Gonna get nano boost to just keep himself alive, and immediately Cincinnati starts to back off here. N-Dog stuck underneath, and he's just gonna get shredded through by Console Noob there. Chu continuing to press the advantage they have up on the overpass, though, is gonna take down Osiris. Now 4 versus 4. These two wait to come back up off of the respawn. Constant trying to just take some high ground right here. Really just need to try and burn some time. The more time that Cincinnati have on the high ground, the harder it's going to be for Sapphire to really establish a really strong foothold here to actually hold across against Cincinnati. The Sapphire here, you can see the Deadeye come out from Osiris. We'll see if this gets too much. Transcendence coming through, N-Dog going straight in, just gonna punch one trick right on back. Two ultimates forced out there from Sapphire, not finding too much, but a Blizzard goes big, finding Console, but big anti-heal as well. Is gonna leave Osiris dead. Pepto potentially next up on the chopping block, very low health, but he is actually gonna be one of the sole survivors. One trick and Osiris just gets shredded through. Cincinnati pushing up, Biso trying to contest as much as he can, but 4.5 minutes remain as Cincinnati continue their push on the final.
Yes, Cincinnati just rolling with it here. They have a lot of time, and it's reported for their very, very strong offense here. I feel like they are just relentless with these duels that they're taking. But Chu is going to find one trick there. Goes into ice block there to save their life there. N-Dog goes into the power blocking, and the bomb comes out. The wall saves the Mei. The way Mei taking a lot of damage here. Chu just holding on barely there. Pepto gets saved by that Matrix. And now Doomfist back on Console Noob here. He manages to dodge that punch though. It is looking a little up here. They're trying to regroup here, and Biso has the nano ready. The nano in Discord there. He's anti-healed. It could be the end of N-Dog there, but Biso's going to get picked there. And now Console Noob trying to make up for it is going to throw that Matrix out, try to get some space here, but he has to back up just too low there. One trick will fall there. FaZe also going to get Osiris in there, and now Pepto just trying to work with anything here, try to fight that flyer, but before the health back does get picked there, Cincinnati just relentless right now.
It is just one after another for Cincinnati, and they are dangerously close to finishing this off. A Blizzard could stop SNHU from even getting out of spawn. Biso trying to touch in time. He's going to run into Reginald. Won't stay alive for long as Chu shows up, and FaZe is going to help push this cart down to the end. That is 3 points there. Cincinnati push it all the way with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. That is a daunting scoreline.
Yes, Cincinnati is just terrifying right now. Just really, really goated on the sticks.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is insane seeing the stuff that they're pulling off right here. And Sapphire seem like they're having a really tough time formulating a good answer to this. A lot of the strategies they're trying, Cincinnati, they're just adapting fast right there. We saw the cast to try and counter the Pharah, but by the time the cast actually got up there, Barrage was already ready, and they just had a 3K and had no one there to punish it. It's going to be very tough. This is a puzzle for Sapphire to try and figure out right here. Cincinnati, all they need to do is just continue to play as they have been, and they're looking pretty good.
Yeah, they've definitely, I feel like they're, really momentum fueled team here.
Oh, yeah.
They're just working off the momentum they've had since round 1, and they're just rolling with it. And now we're gonna see SNHU, stick to something that they kind of know here, or a little closer to home. They have the Reinhardt. They're gonna have that Bastion too, which is a little weird, a little, you know, off-brand, but we've been cooking it up recently, I think.
That's usually, you know, that's more of a Kresnik recipe that you see whenever he gets subbed in, but it'll be interesting to see how the Bastion fares against Doomfist. Bastion is generally a great sort of play into Reinhardt, but we'll see. The power block isn't going to block that much damage from Bastion. He's still going to be able to kind of tear through that, but we'll see if he really finds the opportunity to. Pushing up with Constant with this Lucio, one trick on the Lucio, is going to be able to control a lot of space with that. They have to move their way back into the alleyway. Constant charging forward, trying to just threaten some space, but going to fall back to some hard cover before too long. FaZe gets taken out there. Pepto finding an icicle to the head, can't quite find that wall to block off Andog. Constant continues to try and push forward here, and so low. Osiren sees a chance to go in turret form, but Constant is going to be the one to shut him down. First, Chu can't survive too long underneath all of that fire coming through from Sapphire. They're actually going to block off Nacho right there. Reginald next up, but Andog is going to show up just in time to protect him. SNHU are capping the point in the background.
That is just such a strong offense there from SNHU, and the punch going to offer some more space here, but I don't know if they can get back here. Going to maybe try to find that touch. They will not be able to. And SNHU takes that first point just as quickly as Cincinnati did. This is a really good start for SNHU. They might have found a crack in the diamond there.
Yeah, is really the big challenge for them was keeping on pace, but they seem to be doing it so far. We're seeing Cincinnati swap over to the Sojourn. She was going to pick up a little pick on Pepto right there. Dragon's coming out just to try and split the team up a little bit. We're seeing Collins with 1 health. Can't quite escape as Andog takes him down. He's trying to just lay down some suppressing fire, but has to fall back to hard cover. Can't let Cincinnati get away with much more as Chu finds another pick onto Pepto. He's going to be staggered even longer. Sapphire stuck in their spawn, waiting for these respawns to come off their timer.
Yeah, just waiting for this regroup here. They will be able to get it. It's going to be a little dent in their time there, but they have plenty of it banked up right now. They just need to get their head straight here and work with what they've got here. That wall is going to go a little early there, along with the turret form is finding that damage, but they have the Mercy. It's probably just going to be healed up there along with that ice block. The Doomfist is going to come down with the Meteor Strike there. He does fall there, and Osiren throwing out that space there is just going to be a lot of denial of space. Chu might actually fall here to one trick. Going to pick up the health pack, and the boop takes him out there. Now they're going to just roll back to spawn here, try to regroup a little bit. They took what they could, but it's just really hard to contest the rest of the team here with their mechanics.
Chu gets rezzed.
Oh, that's such a good res there for them. A lot of pressure just exerted there back into the game there with that res. It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable there.
Constant trying to control the space inside. We see the Blizzard come out as well, but Dragons comes through to shut down Pepto and Biso. They'll take down that Lantern as well, and Constant will be next to fall. What a great counter ultimate there. Pepto saw, hey, they're in the close space, I'm going to throw the Blizzard out. Cincinnati had those Dragons ready just in case. Tore straight through that space that Sapphire thought they were safe in. 3.5 minutes left on the clock, and Sapphire fighting to get out towards the cart.
Yeah, we're going to see some switches come out here. Siren on the Hanzo now, and I like how they have ultimate ready. Console noob on what he knows. I'm interested to see what we're going to land here with this Shadow. Ooh, and the wall, he's separated from his team here, throws out that block, and that's an early pick there for them. They have the tank, they have the Shatter, there's really no shields that they could have to block it. It's just a matter of their positioning here.
Yeah, a great pick from Sapphire right there. The main issue with the Shatter, though, is that Cincinnati have not been playing together really at all. They never sit next to each other, so this Shatter is going to be pretty tough. Likely going to be a single target Shatter. Andog stuck up there on the door frame, just barely able to escape, but a shield break going to force Console move back for just a few seconds. Sapphire now have to worry about this harassment coming through. Fade's going to get taken out as Beast are trying to keep his team alive for as long as possible. One trick amping up, but an anti-heal comes out. It couldn't be a time for a beat. One trick on 9 health, too scared to beat. What if he loses it? But he will go down. Biso falls as well. That's both support for Sapphire. They're slowly hemorrhaging health as Pepto also falls. FaZe will get traded out there by Osiren, but Sapphire once again just forced back.
Yeah, that was such a strong hold there from Cincinnati. They played what an excellent defense there. Just 2 times in a row here that SNHU into the ultimate in that side corridor there is just such a strong defense. And then leading into that one with the anti-heal. And they had the window down along with he was blocked out there, right? He was forced into the power blocking there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Cincinnati's team just bailed them out there. They're just playing so strong from the back line there. But Nacho just sneaking around that corner, get a cheeky pick there on Biso.
Andog just barely escaping with his life, but Cincinnati are now 3 ultimate strong, and they're pretty big ones to deal with. Pepto just going to get sent out in the open and can't survive for too much longer. That micro stun on the power punch from Doomfist really enables Sojourn in a big way to hit those headshots. It's essentially, just imagine a Cassidy flashbang with a character that can one-shot headshot you. Right, that is the combo that they're looking at right there. So definitely something to worry about, and something we're seeing them really take advantage of right here.
Yeah, I feel like the Mei is like 100% essential here, but they need some way to contest these Hanzo and Sojourn here. The beat comes out. This might be what they're looking for, and it's going to offer a lot of protection here. Maybe enough to get up onto this high ground. A big shatter there along with the Dragon. He's going to get that pin into the Ana. The Ana gets picked out there along with the Dragon, and now it's just the Mercy left.
And we'll be able to take her down. Andog is still alive. He's still around here somewhere, but SNHU are going to get some time to push for themselves. Andog doesn't want to get picked out here, doesn't want to get caught away from his team, but actually SNHU getting forced back as he starts to regroup with his supports, waiting for a unified push right here. Cincinnati have got that Doomfist ult, so Andog can really just go in. He has nothing to be scared of.
Yeah, Andog really just, free brain here without the Mei anymore. But I feel like even when they did get that wall down, it was really, really hard.
See him trying to take space?
Yeah, to actually take space there. And Andog is going to get that Meteor Strike onto one trick there. Console Noob will fall, and that is the second map going to Cincinnati there.
That is such a strong team. Cincinnati playing so dominantly on this map. Sapphire had such a great push onto the first point right there, but Cincinnati just sticking to what works right there, and they were really able to find a strong stride on that second point right there, never really losing the overpass. And we got to see a lot of something that was really big right there was the Reinhardt. For SNHU, he had Earth Shatter all game. Never had a chance to use it because he was pushing up into higher ground, and Cincinnati were just so spread out all the time. That's great awareness from them on exactly where to position. They never really let themselves get caught up by it. And the one time they did get shattered, immediately we saw the healing come out, and they were able to keep a lot of themselves alive. And actually, a lot of the times in these team fights, SNHU, when they get in, when they find these picks, Cincinnati still find a way to find value in some other way. They do not let clean team fights happen.
Yeah, they were just playing with such a space advantage there. Playing really far back and using that to their advantage. And I think it worked out really well for them in the end there. And there was a moment that SNHU kind of figured it out and just kind of, sectioning off their tank there and taking those picks against him was exactly what they needed with that Mei and stuff. But, I mean, it kind of just died out there. But we are going to take a quick break here before we go back into game.
Hello and welcome back as we're ready to go into game number 3, SNHU Sapphire versus University of Cincinnati Red. Cincinnati is playing out of their mind right now, but we still have a game 3 ahead of us right now.
Yeah, and it's been a crazy game so far.
Yeah.
Just like, firing shots back and forth, but Cincinnati has been coming out on top so far.
They have been so incredible in these last 2 games.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to describe it. Just the way that they've been playing this composition that they have been playing is wild. And it's something that, really looking at how they're playing, it is such a tough thing to figure out because Sapphire seem to be having a really tough time adapting to this. And a lot of the times, for what we're seeing on Cincinnati is just really great positioning and awareness exactly of the strengths of their team composition versus Sapphire's. But let's go and hop into game number 3. We're going in on circuit here. This is where things are going to be a little bit weird. Cincinnati, the Doomfist, if they play the Doomfist here, that is a weird composition.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm wondering if SNHU is going to stick to the roots here and go double Sniper Sigma, or if they're going to try to, read them with a counter pick to the Doomfist.
It's looking like ball right now for Cincinnati here. This is interesting. Breaking off from their normal composition that we've been seeing them play these last 2 games. Actually, very different from their last composition. So you see the pharmacy coming out from them. That could potentially be dangerous here. It's going to be up to Kresnik subbing in for Osiren to really try and shut that down.
Yeah, we're going to see that switch come out here. And that's going to be Cassidy Tracer, something a little bit more, I feel like, known by SNHU there. And I remember seeing a lot of it earlier in the season here. I think back when both of those characters might have gotten touched. But I'm curious to see how they're going to deal with the Widowmaker. Along, you got to deal with the Widowmaker, and then you got to deal with the pharmacy. They got the the Cassidy for that, but I mean, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
I feel like.
This team composition, we might just be seeing Deso and One Trick under fire. And that might be the sacrifice they have to make, is really playing back around hard cover right here. Nepto's so close to burning through Nacho right here, but just can barely not finish that off. Kresnik just trying to apply some pressure from distance. Andog right here stuck in this corner, very low. Kresnik be the one to finish him off right here. Cincinnati decapitated without that tank and have to fall back and wait.
Yeah, and so far, SNHU has been, holding up pretty good here. They haven't really lost anyone. That shield is taking a lot of damage. It will crack a little bit there, and we're gonna see the switch from ball there to Sigma's. I feel like that rock is just so devastating to get hit by as ball there, and now we're gonna see UCOW on the Sigma as well, gonna cover for these double snipers too. And we've seen the Hanzo before. It's gonna be very difficult to contest this here, jumping over that shield, trying to find the shot. Every single shot, I'm just leaning forward in my chair there. But Kresnik gonna find an early pick there on FaZe, flanking around that left side there, just offering a lot of damage along with Pepto, just playing this poke phase perfectly right now.
We normally see Sapphire playing double sniper right here, but they're really looking to try and challenge Cincinnati up front. And so them switching off that double sniper right there, Pepto, this is so scary. He's got there are lots flying at him right now, but the pulse bomb doesn't kill him either. Chu just staying alive right now, doesn't worry too much, but takes a big shot right there. He's gonna fall back, get healed right back up. Still, no one quite dying yet. We're seeing blood come out, but Andog gets killed, and that's just gonna completely fizzle out right there as Consoloob and Crescent take some space, but Chu immediately reclaiming some of that as he finds 2 on his own, but a rock hit him in the side of the head. Flux goes wide, not going to find anything as Consoloob tries to push forward here, can't stop Chu from killing One Trick, but will avenge him as he rushes back to take control of the point, but the Doomfist is out on the field, and Consoloob now has to worry about getting punched into this wall. Nacho's going to be the one to finish him off, and a res coming out to Chu. Cincinnati still 5 strong.
They might get to the second point here pretty quickly. I don't know if SNHU's going to be able to stop them before they get there, but they put up such a strong hold there on that first point there, and it's not a bad dent into their time bank here. They're going to have 4 minutes on the clock, but I mean, I really like the switches we saw from Cincinnati come out along with SNHU. We're going to see the Doomfist, and it's going to be a little weird. I think it's actually going to be a lot better into Sigma than that ball was.
Ooh, good pick.
Yeah, Consoloob finding FaZe there. That's going to be a pretty good pick here. And they chase this Hanzo back down there. Kresnik going to find them. Chu going down early there, and
A new tank.
Macho? Yeah, new tank. New tank just dropped. Another one.
Andog is so close to being dead. Will finally fall to one trick there, but Faye is going to trade that one out. Chu pushing up as well. Is going to take down Kresnik, and the res comes down to Andog, and it's like Cincinnati never even got hit in the first place. They continue to push right back up. Console Noob hit with Discord, has to try and fall back to his team. Biso's there to keep him alive as they just continue to play defensively here, looking to just secure their space on this high ground. FaZe pops in for sight right here, could be looking for a jumping headshot as he begins to make his way forward. Will start put some damage there on the console noob. Gets the kill as well. Pepto with the pulse bomb onto Andog, and now Reginald falling back, not going to be able to find the opportunity for those reses this time. The console continues to push forward. We'll be able to finish off FaZe right there, looking to try and stagger them as much as possible. Nacho so low, won't be able to survive as console noob finds another kill. Now, maybe a little bit too far forward.
Yeah,
this is a scary spot to be in. He's going to have to find a way out of here.
Yeah, he's just pushing up here. He needs some kind of form of a bailout here, and it looks like he is going to be given it there, just playing around this corner now. He is still playing pretty far up there. The Widowmaker could flank around the side here along with the Hanzo, and we're going to see that Dragon actually come out from that flank. It's actually switched off to that Cassidy there. A big stun grenade there is going to deal a lot of damage, and the Rock, the Flux comes out, hiding behind his pillar set. 4 people, forces out that Transcendence. It's going to be a big ultimate force out, goes into Nemesis mode. Console Noob will fall down there, and there's a big stun grenade. FaZe getting kicked there, and now it's just down to the rest of the team of Cincinnati here. It's still a pretty strong hold there. It's down to Pepto. Pepto will fall there, and still 1 minute 50 seconds on the clock here for Cincinnati to push up the second point.
SNHU burnt some pretty good time right there, but now Cincinnati are already beginning to hold forward around these doors, and SNHU are going to have to fight just to get the chance to contest as they begin to push up. Console Noob trying to take this window. Andog putting a shield up of his own. Still has Annihilation. That's something you've got to be scared of right now against Andog, because if he wants to pop that, you really just have to fall back. You cannot take a sustained fight. Pepto will get picked off there by Chu, and Annihilation starts to come out. Console Noob, the Immortality Field, going to try and keep him alive. He slowly getting whittled down. Andog's able to pick up that kill. Chu finds Kresnik, but Miso with a double kill is going to strike back. Chu not going to let him live for too much longer. Pepto still has a pulse bomb ready. He's contesting on the cart. We'll see. He's trying to lock this pulse bomb onto this Mercy, but he might just have to settle. Can't quite do it. Andog going to pick up that kill, and Cincinnati take the second point.
Yeah, Cincinnati's still barreling through here. I mean, we've proven it's not momentum anymore. They are just taking these wins here. But I mean, SNHU fighting back here. They've whittled down 2 minutes here, and Chu gonna get picked there. Might put a dent in their push here, but Console Noob looking pretty low here. He gets that Discord Orb, the Immortality goes out. The Flux gonna buy a lot of time there. He goes into power blocking, and he will still die there. That percentage health damage. Another pick comes out here, and Chu falls again there. That's gonna be a lot of good picks there for SNHU. Now, Cincinnati's really working in the red now.
SNHU have to fight so hard just to get these clean team fights, but they finally managed to pull it off as a team kill comes out for them. Cincinnati, though, you have to be looking at that ult lineup that they've got ready. They have so much gas in the tank. We'll see if they're able to make some power plays here. We see the ball come out from Reginald. Biso's going to pop up on a window. Pulse bomb from Pepto's not going to find too much. No more ultimates on deck for Sapphire. They're going to have Deadeye soon, but Justin needs to find some damage, but he's not going to live long enough as Chu, the Storm Arrow, finds two. A third one on one trick, and just Console Noob left alive with him dead. Cincinnati clap back with a team kill.
Yeah, Chu with these flanks here have been deadly there, but they didn't really they actually played it pretty reserved there. They still got 3 ultimates left here for this last pick here, or last push, but they're also running low on time. It's kind of do or die right now.
Yeah, this is set point for Cincinnati right now. Well, this game in general. So if Cincinnati are able to get a full push, that's going to be very tough for Sapphire to match in the second game. FaZe finds a double kill. Being on Pepto, one trick. Biso also falls. Just Kresnik and Console Noob alive. No healing for that Sigma. He's going to have to try and fall back to spawn. Dragon's coming out. Will be able to take down Kresnik as Cincinnati push on to final right here. It's going to be up to SNHU to try and get out here as fast as possible to try and contest. One trick's going to get taken out by that Deadeye. A disruption grenade is going to block off that entrance from Pepto, who's who's stuck in the spawn. Constantnoob so low, can't stay alive for long. Annihilation comes out from Andog, and now SNHU are forced to just sit on this point, feeding into this. It will time out, but now the point is so close to being captured. One trick goes down. Biso's next up. Kresnik falls, and that is going to be a successful almost push as Constantnoob shows up just in time. And there it is. Cincinnati are able to push that in, get a full push. 3 seconds left on the clock. Not a lot of time in the bank, but still getting that full push is going to be a struggle for Sapphire.
Yes, SNHU now has to play just really, really well in this next push here. I mean, it is set point here for Cincinnati on this map as well. But I really liked the way that Cincinnati played that last round. They still only got 3 seconds on that bank there, right? So if they do push it all the way 3 points, it's gonna be different, right? It's gonna be different to these last maps that we've seen. We haven't gone into overtime yet in this set, so SNHU taking this third map would be a change up here. Could shake up Cincinnati's mentality, but I mean SNHU it's just gonna be hard, I feel like.
We're seeing Pepto on the Sojourn again. This is something he hasn't been on for a hot minute. Definitely not on stream. Maybe he's been scrimming it out recently. A lot of players have been switching off of the Sojourn in the last 2 seasons or so. So seeing that pop back up, I think is really fun to see. Cincinnati been playing a little bit of Sojourn on their own as well in the last map. So seeing that come out, definitely a breath of fresh air from what we usually get to see here on the stream recently. Still, Cincinnati, we're getting something interesting here with this Junkrat. We've seen some pretty effective Junkrats on this first point.
Yeah, that trap is going to be interesting. It's going to be, I mean, if he manages to pull this off, it's definitely going to be weird. But what were the changes to Sojourn that pushed her out of the favor of meta?
Just some changes to how the railgun scales. Kresnik going to take a lot of damage right there. The Constantino's there to just absorb some of that damage, not going to let them die to some straight fire. But yeah, Sojourn got a little bit of tweaks to how fast that railgun charges up. Not quite nearly as much power on shields, and also I believe the railgun size itself got tweaked just a little bit there. So definitely a little bit less frequent on the railgun shots, but still they're going to be just as deadly. Andog solo, the rock's going to kill him, but it's a Sigma trade as Reginald picks that one up. With trapped down, Kresnik going to start to make his way onto high ground. Chu trying to fall back right here. Pepto not quite able to hit those primary fires to charge up his railgun here. But Kresnik and Pepto are taking that high ground. They're going to be able to exert a lot of pressure from up here with their ranged attacks. Chu just spamming on up here. He's going to do some good work, but FaZe finds Kresnik.
Yep, SNHU slowly inching around this corner here is going to be a little bit difficult. The Junkrat really needs to be pushed back here so he isn't really holding up that choke so much. Bouncing off these walls is just exactly what he wants right now. But Pepto has that railgun charge. Is going to look for it there. It just goes a little bit wide. FaZe and Andog finding their picks there. SNHU's forced to back up here. Both shields kind of cracking out. A Discord Orb is going to push Andog back a little bit here, but SNHU can't really do anything. Just kind of need to regroup right now.
Something I love about the way that Cincinnati have been playing on defense is that when they win a fight, they take space. They do not let you just walk back up to the cart and try and hold there. They don't care that the cart's all the way back there. They're more than happy to hold it here. FaZe jumping up high. Got to find a pick onto one trick, and that's going to slow down SNHU's roll just a little bit. We're going to see that Widowmaker really pulling in some big effort right here, as being on the high ground gives you so much of an advantage. But Pepto finds that opening pick onto FaZe, but Kresnik gets traded out. No clean picks here as Sapphire begins to make their way in. Andog's going to take down Constantnoob, and Pepto just can't quite finish that off before Reginald shuts him down. Cincinnati have got them stuck on this corner.
Yeah, just trying to find a saving grace there. Pick on that tank there, but Chu now working on the right side here. Ooh, his thing got destroyed there before he could blast back off. That rock just flying by his face, and he's discorded as well. A little scary there for Chu for that short second there.
Does have Riptire ready. That could be an interesting play coming around this corner right here. See him beginning to push up, just trying to take this space, but constantly very quick to push on up and find that kill. Cincinnati now down a player. SNHU have got an opening here. They're going to make their way through, but FaZe with a crazy shot is going to take down Kresnik just around that corner. Point blank, Pepto will be able to take down FaZe before they find any more damage done. Also now beginning to take a lot of space here, really trying to lock down this Ana. Rocks hitting heavy on the Constantinob here. He has Flux ready. Three grouped up here. We're going to see the Flux come out from Cincinnati as Pepto pops the overclock, trying to find something, but the Riptire flies right up on him. Kresnik is going to save his life by shutting that down. Pepto continuing to exert some pressure. Nano Boost comes out as well as the Transcendence. That is a very, very healthy Sigma on Cincinnati's side. Scottson tries to stay alive right in the middle of an entire team, but they just collapse on him. And Dog picking up the last hit on that kill. 30 seconds left for Sapphire. They have their back against the wall.
Yeah, SNHU just fighting for their life here. They don't have a lot of time to work with, and soon they're going to have to be playing for touches here. We might see some changes come into their composition here, but Kresnik has that bomb ready, is anti there.
Nice.
Gets that kill on Nacho. He's on 1%. He will get taken out there by Chu, but I feel like that's a pretty good pick on the support there. A lot of healing coming out here on Consumu, but it won't be enough there. Consumu does fall, and going for that touch, they do manage to get that touch on the overtime, but it's ticking down right now, and they don't get that last touch there. That's going to be University Cincinnati taking that win there.
What a crazy performance from them across all three of these maps. I just really want to highlight in every single one of these games, Sapphire, they did not have any sort of ability to get clean trades there. Cincinnati, every time they were a player down, they found equal value. They made it hurt. They never let Sapphire get that leg up. And that just really shows awareness around Cincinnati. They say, hey, I know you're probably going to get picked, and that's unfortunate, but I'm going to find value on my own, and I'm going to open things back up for our team. There were so many times where University of Cincinnati, they got picked, they lost two of their players at the start of the team fight out of nowhere, and SNHU try and push forward, and they just immediately hit back super hard. Cincinnati, just really, really incredible play tonight.
Yes, Cincinnati, I mean, now we know. Now we know why they're 7-0.
Yeah,
right?
True.
It was such a formidable team there, and despite, I mean, not playing like the recommended picks, right? Like in meta, they just made it work for them. They knew their strength, and they played exactly how they needed to take that win. So I props to them, honestly.
Yeah, really just forging their own sort of team composition there that was really fun to watch, really interesting. They had so much cool plays, and they just really showed a masterclass of mastery in this game, because that was some really incredible game sense in all of these games. Great positioning, great team fights. They knew exactly when the fight was lost. They knew to back off. They knew when to make things hard for SNHU. They knew that, like, oh, SNHU, they won this fight, but they're pursuing the stragglers a little too hard. So we can punish them for this. The fact that they had the awareness of this stuff is crazy, and gotta give them huge props for actually having that level of mastery in the game. That is really, really incredible to see. Also, I mean, great performance from SNHU tonight. They fought their heart out. Unfortunately, didn't go quite the way they want. Undefeated streak, sadly, no longer on our hands, but still a great season for them so far. A great performance tonight. Getting to see a lot of them play always makes me happy. So I love to see these guys out there.
I love Overwatch. I love watching them play Overwatch. Yeah.
That's all for us tonight. Unfortunately, I wish we had more, but we don't. So if you want to see more, you can check out our Twitter at SNHU Esports. We'll find all sorts of clips, match updates, events, anything like that will be all on there. So definitely check that out. You can also find all that information on our Discord, discord.gg/SNHU Esports. Be able to find everything, including the awesome community that is around the arena and in the space all the time. So definitely check that stuff out. But that's all for us tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with Rocket League, and we'll be back on Saturday with the SNHU x NHIAA Smash Tournament. Basically, a bunch of high schools are coming in, doing some crew battles. It's going to be awesome. If you watched the Rocket League tournament last Saturday, it's just like that, but for Smash Bros. So be sure to check that out. It's going to be sick. It's going to be on our stream Saturday. Keep an eye on our Twitter for all sorts of updates about that. But once again, that's all for us tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for supporting our players. All of that. We'll see you back here tomorrow for Rocket League.